So experts are now saying that we are entering a state of emergency. But why? Well, it has to do with what California is now doing, not just proposing, but passing bills on. This is causing not just the state of California or surrounding states to suffer, but many states here in the United States are actually feeling the effects as well. So today I'm going to break down why experts are calling for a state of emergency, what we are seeing, and why this could be bad news for us moving forward. So I'm going to break all this down in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So let's get right down to it. In the very near future, in just a couple of months, we are going to have a very important election. We will know who the next president of the United States is going to be because President Joe Biden will not rerun. So, at this time, the two frontrunners, we have Vice President Kamala Harris for the Democratic Party. We also have former President Donald Trump for the Republican Party. Now, here's the reason why experts are calling and saying that we are entering a state of emergency. It's because if former President Donald Trump wins, he is likely going to shut down the U.S. border. He's not going to allow people just to enter so freely, and he has stated himself that this will be the biggest mass deportation event we have ever seen. Now, here's what California is doing. California is going to assist people with down payments for up to 1,700 first-generation home buyers. And guess what? This also includes illegal immigrants. It says California could be the first state to offer housing loans to illegal immigrant buyers. Yes, this was just passed through the Senate just yesterday, I believe 21-11. Now, I want to read you a little bit of this. Here's what you need to know. It says, as part of the Dream for All program, California is giving 1,700 first-generation buyers a chance to purchase a home. To date, this program has provided nearly 4,000 first-time home buyers with a path to ownership by offering down payment funding assistance. Now you're probably thinking, well, that's not too bad. But here's the reason why this is an issue. Because of misinformation. Okay, that is the issue. I was talking to somebody just the other day, and he said that what California is offering is not terrible, but the misinformation out there saying that anybody can go get a loan, even illegal immigrants, you don't need a job, you don't need Social Security, you don't need anything, you can qualify. That's the misinformation that we're seeing. But what he says is now people are flocking to California because they heard they can get free healthcare, they can get free food. Now they can get housing, right? They can get jobs, all these things. But here's what you need to understand. California isn't just giving people jobs. Businesses right now are not just hiring thousands and thousands of people just because they're coming in across the border. As far as housing, no, that's not the case either. But again, why would this be state of emergency? Well, it's because of all the other stuff that's coming along with it. For instance, let me show you this. Okay, a New Hampshire resident dies from triple E, a rare mosquito-borne virus. Well, we know where triple E is here in the U.S., right? We've seen the reports. This is in New Hampshire. It's also in New York. It's also in Massachusetts. So that's where we know it's at. So they're trying to confine those areas, spray for mosquitoes, right? Put out some pesticides, whatever they do, to get rid of them. Now here's the issue. That's just one. It's just one person. What about people coming in from Mexico? People coming in from Colombia? People coming in from Brazil and Argentina and from Turkey and all these other countries? We don't know what they've been exposed to. For instance, and again, I bring this up because so many people are, especially right now, are really struggling as to, what do they do? Well, look at this. Right now, schools are being forced to close because of COVID. This is something we didn't think we were going to see again. This is something that, why would we see? Right? We've overcome this. We don't need to worry about that. Or this one right here. It says overseas passengers screened at airport for symptoms of Mpox. This is why experts say that California is going to cause a state of emergency, because they are now pretty much telling people, hey, come into our state. We're ready for you. We're going to offer you free jobs, free health care. We're going to offer you food, housing. Right? We're going to give you everything you need just to come to our state. This could be a problem. Now, do I think Mpox is going to spread? Well, it could. The CDC says they're not too worried about Mpox because it can be detected just through a visual test. Although, and I've talked about this the other day, some experts and some doctors are a little bit concerned because a visual test doesn't always work, especially if you're not highly qualified there. If you're just a school nurse, maybe you don't know the difference between Mpox versus chickenpox versus measles and things like that. Okay? But this is the big one. Okay? When it comes to triple E, a man has already lost his life because of it, because it's a rare mosquito-borne virus. There is no vaccine for it. There is no medication you can take, and it has a 30% mortality rate. So, again, I bring this to your attention because California is now opening the doors for more people to come in. But when you look on TikTok, you look on Instagram, Facebook, sometimes on YouTube, but people are making it seem like everybody's eligible for this up to 20% down payment assistance on a home. It's not the case. Okay, it's up to 20%, up to like $150,000. But it's only going to be eligible to about 1,700 people. The program has already closed, right? The application process, that was done in I think April or May. So again, they're just now going to start sending out the money. But most people don't realize that. So that's why I'm bringing it to your attention now, because I think a lot of people are seeing all the reports and all the headline news that is on TV and on the internet, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube. And they're like, oh, California's doing all this. Yeah, great. But here's what I can tell you. What California's doing might make things worse. And according to experts, it is only going to get worse. So I don't know which direction we go from here. I don't know if California is going to allow 1,700 illegal immigrants to go and get down payment assistance up to $150,000. I just don't know. But what I do know, based off what experts have said and based off reports, is that yes, we are seeing an increase of COVID cases. Now, are people extremely concerned with that? Not really, because we've been through that. There are vaccines, there is medication. We understand how, if you do contract the virus, how you can get through it. So right now, it's not a life or death situation for the majority of people. If you do have a compromised immune system, obviously it's a little bit more difficult. But there is stuff that we can do for COVID. As far as triple E, well, not so much. That's why there are certain towns in Massachusetts, in New York, that are locking down, or they're calling it a voluntary curfew, but they're enforcing it. So essentially, it's a lockdown. After 6 p.m. every single night until the end of September, you are supposed to stay in your home. Do not go anywhere unless you have to go to work. But if you do have to go outside for whatever reason, wear long clothing, wear a long sleeve shirt, a jacket, right, a hat if you need to, wear pants, right? Make sure you are covered so mosquitoes can't bite you. And then obviously, the last one, Mpox. Just do what you can, be prepared, because again, these things are spreading. So I will leave you with that. If you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. But that is what we know as of today. So thank you. If you enjoyed today's video, consider subscribing, and I will see you guys on the next one.